So the two questions I want to touch on while we are here. The first one being, how do I know when to size down my position size? The second one being, what sessions do I recommend everybody trading? Let's walk this way and we'll talk, right? Okay, so talking about the sessions that I think everybody should be trading, the first thing when you think about that is, and there's a couple other videos on the YouTube channel where we talk about the pairs that are volatile, the pairs that have volume right now. If you haven't read the tri-annual central bank survey put out by the IBS, I would highly recommend that you read that because it's going to tell you where the volume is right now this year going into 2020. The sessions that I trade plays into the pairs that I trade. I do believe the Asian session is very much considered a consolidation session, an accumulation session, where you do see a lot of pairs range. You can use that Asian session to help you determine which pairs are going to be volatile that day during London and then New York. I break my sessions into three. I don't look at Tokyo different than Sydney. I kind of group the Australian market and the Japanese market all together and call it the Asian session. So the Asian session is going to be very slow. I'm not really ever going to be trading, never have been, never will be trading the Asian session because we know the volume isn't there. The volume comes when the banks are open, when the traders are trading. So when you ask me what session should we trade, it's very simple. Trade pairs that are trending and that are open when their markets are open. So you would want to trade GBP pairs during the London session and the New York session because that's when the volume is going to be there. You've got the bankers in New York trading. You've got, oh my God, that's a crab. You've got did you see it, the little guy?
Yeah.
You see him right there? Get him on the camera. Little guy, right down there. So you want to trade GBP pairs during the London session, GBP pairs during the Euro session, because that's when the volume is going to be there, right? Second question is, knowing what sessions to trade can tie into how do you determine when to size down in your trades, right? This goes into a webinar that we put out for our members that are already in the course. If you're in there, the webinar is at the bottom of your curriculum. You can rewatch it. I call it Building Your Risk Profile. What that means is you should have a playbook. And we actually talked about this in the Q&A already on the beach, about my favorite books to read. You need a playbook. The playbook should detail your entries, your exits, and the risk management for each setup. Those are your plays, like you're the football coach, right? You remember this reference from earlier in the video? When you have the playbook, each setup should be graded by the parameters in your system. For me, I have average daily range as a parameter. I have EMAs in trend as a parameter. The TDI as a parameter. Pivot points as a parameter. The Asian session itself is used as a parameter to gauge if we have volume in that pair. So when you have parameters to grade your setups by, you can then say, look, this is an A+ setup. Every parameter is met. It's GBP-NZD. You know, I love to trade that pair. I call it my second girlfriend. Sorry, Rye. When you have a pair that you love to trade and all your parameters are met, that's your A setup. So you don't want to size down into that, but you also don't want to over leverage. And this is where the risk profile comes into play because it tells you, it's written in your plan, in your playbook, hey, on A setups, this is the risk that I'm going to take. On A setups, on pairs that I like to trade, this is the risk I'm going to take. Then by using those parameters and knowing how to, back yourself down basically and say, look, EMAs aren't in trend today. There's not a lot of space left on average daily range. So you know what? This is a B setup. I'm going to size down here. So it's having parameters and having a risk profile and a playbook and a way to grade all of your trades. That's going to tell you every single time when you should be hitting the trades with, 2, 3, 4, 5% risk and when you should be doing 0.25% risk, 0.5% risk. It's all through the playbook and it's all through the grading system. And if you struggle with that, get in the course, get in the VIP chat. I'm going to be able to show you how to put this into your trading. You're not going to need to stick with the systems that I'm talking about forever. You can learn how to use our system, learn how to use the grading system in our system, and then apply that to all the future trading strategies that you have. But sizing down your position starts with having a risk profile, having a playbook, and then having parameters that you can grade those plays, your trades, by.